Now we're going to do closure problem 9-157, which reads, determine the length of side x, so that's this side right here. Give the answer in radical form and as a decimal. So what do they mean by radical form? So if you remember your definition of square root, it's this. You can either call this a radical or you can call it a square root. That term, radical, means the square root. All right, so we can either give it in this form or as a decimal. All right, so when we look at this triangle, we recognize that it is a right triangle because it has a right angle. And we recognize that we can use the Pythagorean theorem to find a missing side. So let's just rewrite the Pythagorean theorem right here. We know that the two short sides, A plus B, if you take those two sides and square them and add them together, they are equal to the third side, the longest side, or we call that the hypotenuse, squared. So if we were to match those up with what we have here, we would say 7 squared plus x squared is equal to 15 squared. All right, so let's simplify our squares here. So 7 squared is 49 plus x squared. And 15 squared is 125. All right, so now we're just solving for x. So to get x squared by itself, let's subtract 49 from this side, and we have to do it from both sides. So here it zeroes out, and we only have x squared on this side. And on this side, we have to subtract 49 from 125. So let's see, 4. So we've got, after we take 25 out, we've got 24 left. So we need to take 24 out of 100. So that would be 76 would be left. Why don't we check that with our calculator? Okay, so 125 minus 49. 125 minus 49 is equal to 76. So that's correct. All right, so we want to find what x is, not x squared. So to get x on this side, we have to take the square root of x squared, and we have to do the same thing over on this side. And if we take the square root of x squared, we know that's x. So x is equal to the square root of 76. So that's the value in radical form, but we're supposed to also provide it as a decimal. If we're going to provide it as a decimal, then we need to take the number 26 and find out what the square root of 76 is. So the square root of 76 we can find by using this function over here. So we find out that the square root of 76 is 8.717, or we'll just round it up to the second decimal place. So 8.72. X is also equal to 8.72. So now we've provided x as a radical and x as a decimal.